basically kind of like come online and see if anybody else is hearing what I'm hearing. So they're saying that Doge, that's the Department of Government Efficiency or something. They claim that those folks have been given the authority to come to the Defense Department and do some efficiency cleaning, which you guys know what that means. It basically means they're gonna start cutting jobs, man. They're gonna start laying people off like they did at USAID, like they did at some of these other agencies. They're going to go after, according to these people, the low hanging fruit. You guys know what that is. Those are the people on probation, term, and even them contractors. So you guys already know they had this delayed resignation program, which ended. I think it was ended on the midnight of the 10th, and they gave them a couple of days. They went through the court, and then the court system found that it was a legal program. So, and I think the Office of Personnel Management ended that program at 7:30ish that same day. So that did not give a lot of people the option to kind of like consider the program, which then brought us to where we are right now, which is basically Doge has been given clearance to come on down to the DOD, Department of Defense, and do some cuts. And word has it, just like they cut a whole bunch of people on Valentine's Day weekend, which they call the Valentine's Day massacre. They fired a whole bunch of people. They said that same thing is about to happen to DOD. Basically, anytime now. They're gonna be getting their letters anytime now. Excuse me, I was kind of distracted a little bit, but yeah. So what do you guys think? Have you heard anything about that? Because I'm not sure. It's a lot. The information is kind of hard to come by these days. And I don't know. And meanwhile, I don't think the people are like informing folks, because nobody really knows what's going on, if you know what I mean. So it's like you don't know what's going on, and thank God Trump, he will save the world with the help of Elon. Well, that's what I hear. Elon is supposedly word has it that Elon actually has a position in the White House, but he's not getting paid for it. So it's like he's a volunteer. I saw yesterday where he said he was tech support. That was kind of funny, but if you really think about it, the way he explained it, he said, look, I'm tech support. The reason I'm tech support is because nobody is helping with this executive orders. In other words, there's nobody that's actually helping enforce the executive orders. So I think that's what it meant by he was tech support. So if it's tech support, that means he's actually going in and basically saying, hey, you guys say one thing, but you're still doing another thing. And he has found, according to people familiar with this story, that he's found a lot of fraud in a couple of agencies, okay? And some of the agency heads have been fired. Like, basically, they got rid of them. As a matter of fact, there was an agency head from, I forgot what agency that was. I think it was the Office of Special Counsel or something like that he fired. And for some reason, they said, hey, wait, give him 14 days, give him procedural days before he can go. And then that got taken to the Supreme Court. So expect a major hearing on the authority of the POTUS to basically fire these agency heads without giving them a lot due notice. Because if the Supreme Court was to come back and say, yeah, you can fire them guys because you're in charge of the executive branch, and you don't have to really if they're not working to your satisfaction, you can get rid of them. So I think that's going to probably set a precedence for mass firing that's getting ready to come again. Remember, we're hearing right now that Doge is coming to the Department of Defense. All right, we're hearing it right. The Secretary of Defense has given Doge the leeway to come on down and find some efficiencies. So I don't know what that's gonna look like. I'm just letting you guys know that's not gonna be pretty. So if you know people right now, you better just let them know they should start prepping, because I think the emails are gonna start showing up pretty soon. Okay, the low-hanging fruit, they're gonna get rid of them folks first, and then they're gonna get rid. I'm thinking they're gonna get rid of the contractors too, because again, these contractors, sometimes it don't look like they're doing any work. It looks like sometimes they get hired to duplicate efforts, and then they got the audacity to tell the government workers what they think they can do. Imagine some of these contractors used to be part of DOD before, and all they did just switch their shirts and shit. They switch their shirts and then go from one day they're here and then go another day, and then you kind of say, okay, is it a double billet? I don't know. I don't know none of this stuff. All I'm saying is right now, be prepared for a bunch of crying people. There's gonna be a whole bunch of people that are gonna be crying this weekend and next week. And if I haven't already kind of like mentioned this, for those agencies that's been not informing their people about what's about to go down, shame on them, because they're going to be the reasons a whole bunch of people have they're not going to be able to like process this information. Okay, and certain kind of people already are used to processing this kinds of information, but certain kind I appreciate you guys giving me a thumbs up. I'm not trying to like sell anything. I'm just putting out information based off of what I'm hearing from some people familiar with these situations, because it's going to get bad. I'm telling you. It's going to get really, really bad, and it's going to get bad before it gets good. And I feel for certain people that are not informed, either because somebody's like holding up information from them, or because people are thinking, oh, I don't really care about the people. I care about not losing my positions and whatnot. Okay? All I know is it looks like this is going to be a problem for some people because they're not going to know how to process it. The question then is, are the resources available to help people? Are there resources? It's kind of raining, so forget me. Pardon me, my wiper is going on. I'm going to put an automatic wiper. But, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how this is happening. Some people kind of predicted this was going to happen, but I didn't think it was going to happen this quick. Okay? I didn't think it's going to happen this quick. And the reason I didn't think so is back to Elon saying he's tech support. See, the reason why it's happening quicker now is because you have tech support. Imagine if there was no tech support, you can sign all the executive orders that you want, but it's not going to get implemented, right? So it's not going to get implemented because you got, I think they call them the deep state. I really don't know. But because you got the deep state in there, stopping stuff from happening. Even today, while you're getting clear guidance, you still got some deep state people holding information from people that's supposed to have that information. You still got some deep state people stopping folks from actually taking advantage of opportunities that was presented to them from the top. Is it any wonder then that they're trying to like clean house? Is it any wonder you have Doge coming in there and saying, let's pull the curtain back a little bit and see what's going on. Pull the curtain back a little bit and let's see what's really going on at some of these agencies. And word has it now there's a bunch of fraud that's been uncovered. Don't ask me how I know, because it's out there. Certain places have oodles of fraud that's been uncovered. They've been playing games with folks, pretending like they've been doing the right thing, but now they've been caught red-handed with their hands inside the damn cookie jar. All right? They've been caught red-handed. You know? So you tell me how they're going to prevent themselves from possibly getting locked up. Possibly getting locked up. Possibly saying, hey, you had the authority to prevent and report fraud. You did not do anything as somebody in power, in charge. They're going to grab your ass, man. They're going to pull handcuffs. All right? So if you guys know anything about what you're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be letting people do what they got to do to comply with the executive order. All right? You got to be giving Doge all the information Doge is asking for so they can do their work. Because this has been sanctioned. Elon is actually a government employee that's unpaid. On paper, he is. is actually an advisor. So when you say, no, nobody gave him the authority, he's actually a special advisor to the president, according to people familiar with this information. And he was being authorized to find efficiencies. You know what that means, right? That means cut a whole bunch of stuff. Find where there's efficiencies, where you can save money, and so they can reprioritize those dollars, folks. That's what's going on right now. Some people are fighting that stuff. The deep state doesn't want it to happen. The deep state is fighting. The bureaucratic stuff is, I don't know if you guys heard about this term, unilateral executive. That means within the executive branch, the buck stops with POTUS. I need you guys to do me a favor. Put something on the chat if you think this unilateral thing is something that you support. In fact, type yes if you're into the unilateral stuff and you think it's the right way to go. Because some of these agencies have run amok, believe me. Some of them have just think they can just make any rules and nobody can challenge them. And if somebody tells them to do, and you got agency heads that are pretty much subservient, they've gone rogue. Some of these agency heads have become native. They've gone so native that they don't want to respect authority. They don't want to do any work because in their mind they think because they've been delegated authority to make certain rules that it stops with them. All right? So that's the problem we're having right now, folks. And I'm telling you, it's only going to get worse. And you're going to see the massive efficiencies that they're probably going to find within DOD. Remember, DOD is the largest of them all, the largest agency. So don't tell me you're not going to see stuff with DOD, because you will see stuff. Enormous agency, all right, with budget close to $1 trillion, according to people familiar with those estimates. So let's see what DOJ is going to find out. Let's see what DOJ is going to find out at the Defense Department, because people are taking off their gloves, pulling down the curtain just to see for themselves what's actually going on over there. All right? People are pulling down the curtain, looking for themselves. UKWA, what is that? I nearly sound, you look like, whatever, dude. I'm reading some of the chat. I just need to see yes, no. Do you believe in unilateral executive power? Somebody type yes in the chat for me. If you believe in unilateral executive power, which means the power that's been delegated to the agencies should be consolidated at the top, where one person is making decisions. All right? And it makes it a lot smoother. It makes it more efficient. Okay? Wouldn't you think? I'd like to know your thoughts on that whole strategy, that whole mode of thinking. To the contrary, I know people are really mad now with the way things are happening, but you know what? They were not as efficient as things are happening right now, right? I will tell you, if this is how things are going to function, where something is done and there's a mechanism to actually enforce it and enforce it properly and expeditiously, maybe that'll be a good thing. I don't know. But if you're fighting it and you're thinking, no, we need to go back to the way things were, you probably need to kind of like do a self re-examination and say, hey, look, am I doing myself a disservice by not at least looking at an efficient way to do things? right? It's just something to think about. Because I will tell you right now that it's not going to be funny when people start getting these emails telling them thank you for your service. Unfortunately, we don't need your service anymore because we're trying to like cut some costs, and you just so happen to be one of those folks that we think we can get some efficiencies from. The email's back going to read something to that effect. All right, and then you're going to start thinking, well, you know, I didn't have a chance to take advantage of that offer. The offer's gone. They're not bringing that stuff back. They're not bringing that offer back. So Doge removed his gloves. He's speaking the cutting, and they're gonna come up with some stuff that people are not gonna realize, and it's gonna catch them off guard. It catches them off guard. They're not gonna know what to do. You know, it's gonna be sad, man. So our hearts go to people that are gonna get this pink. Is that what they call them, pink slips? That are gonna get this pink slips out of the blue. All right. So I recommend you guys kind of like look deep and see what you need to do. Oh, by the way, I'm not selling a book, but somewhere in the description of this video, you're gonna see a link to grab The Fork in the Road, a guide for laid off workers. I put that together to help you guys as you make this decision and this transition, because it's not an easy thing to do. I remember going through this process 10 years ago. So I'm in the shoes of these people that are going through this stuff. So if you know anybody that's going through this transition, or if you yourself find yourself in a situation where you're going to be doged, if you haven't already been doged, go ahead and grab a copy. It's available on Amazon. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's also available on Amazon Kindle. That's an ebook. I think that one is $3.99. And then if you want to buy the paperback or support this channel, that one is $12.99. Okay? All right, guys. I wanted to kind of come online and say, hey, oh, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't want to forget that, all right? Because I'm going to be bringing you exclusive updates about this calamity that we'll find ourselves in. It may be a good thing, it may be a bad thing. I don't know. Everybody has their opinion. I'm just kind of saying, hey, this is what's happening, and I've put together a resource guide for you guys. Take care. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.